What's it like to move to Las Vegas from Canada of all places? Well, my name is Steven and I'm a Canadian, so I will tell you a little bit about my experience right now.
Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas.
Hello out there in YouTubeville and Facebook land and wherever you might be watching. My name's Steven. This is Not Leaving Las Vegas, a full-time Vegas resident. Brings you news, views, Vegas stuff. If you like Vegas, click subscribe. Hit the bell, you'll know when we do new videos, and leave us a comment because I cherish all those comments like you don't even know. So I moved here from Canada a long time ago. I mean, it was like 2004, 2005. I didn't move directly to Vegas, but a few observations about Vegas and how it is to live in a climate such as this, right on the Strip. I do timeshare for a living. We'll get to the end of the video where I tell you guys about how you can click on the link description below if you want free timeshare stuff. What's it like? And I'm trying to think about the most craziest kind of juxtapositions that I can tell you about between the two places. Well, I guess the first big change for me was the weather. Obviously, it goes without saying, right? You move from a place, and I actually moved from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, which means that all I got to do is get on the 15, and I have a video on driving on that 15. I'll go straight north and never get off of it, and in like 20 hours, 25, 30 hours from now, I'd be in my hometown. Well, anyways, moving from a place called Calgary, Canada, where the hottest day ever recorded was like 30 some odd degrees Celsius, which is in the 90s, to a place where it regularly breaks the 40s all the time was a big change. Yeah, that's right. If you come from anywhere like, say, Minnesota or Michigan, where it's humid, it's hot, it's sticky, that's one thing. And people will always say things like, yeah, but at least it's a dry heat. Yeah, that doesn't hold any water with me. Dry heat, it doesn't matter when it's 115. But when you come from a place like that, it's hard to adjust to a place like this. Weather-wise, also, you don't have four seasons out here. Where I'm from, you obviously have spring, summer, winter, and fall, and they go cyclical. So you're kind of used to things. You're looking forward to, February, March, April, where it gets warmer. You know that the warm weather is on its way for June. Out here, we just kind of ease in like a lobster or a frog, easing into a boiling pot. Actually, no, it's the frogs you're supposed to put into the hot water. Apparently, they jump out. But I saw on YouTube that that's just a myth. Another adjustment was basically the business climate here. Give you an example, right? My home team, the Calgary Flames, back in Canada, they're trying to build an arena for the team. They can't get any public money. Boo-hoo, so sad, we might move the team. But here, when they want to build something, they just build it. It's all privately financed with the exception of the Raiders Stadium. The Raiders are coming. It's more like a threat. It's not really an option for you. The Raiders are coming! With the exception of the Raiders Stadium, all of the venues out here are built with private money, so you see the business climate is a little bit different. Out here, when they wanted to build the T-Mobile Arena, the home of the Vegas Golden Knights, they just built it. They spent like $500 million. The companies that built it knew they would recoup on that money from all the entertainment going into them. Nobody complained, nobody whined about getting government funds for things. That's the other flip side, right? Infrastructure-wise, you don't have the government funding going into the roads that you might want to have. You don't have the trains that they have in most Canadian cities. You don't have the bus system, and all that stuff is lacking in some aspects in Vegas. So it's harder to get around here, so you kind of need a car, whereas I never owned a car back in Canada. Another thing I noticed that was interesting was how everybody in a city like Vegas is from somewhere else. It's really not all that easy to find people that were born and raised, Vegas born, the hashtag that came out with the Golden Knights. There's not that many people born and raised in Vegas, but back home, everybody's from that area. I mean, there are people that move across the entire country, but it's not as prominent as it is here. That might be owing to the fact that there's 300 million plus people, if not 350 million people in the United States, versus only, 38 or 40 million people in Canada. So you have a bigger population, but people come to Vegas in droves from all over, and they travel a lot more just to come here to get a better life for themselves. Now, some things are obviously much better in Vegas. You have like a lack of state taxes, although the province I'm from in Canada, Alberta, Canada, also doesn't have a provincial tax. At least they didn't when I left. Maybe that's changed. But you don't have state taxes here. Prices on things are lower. Goods, commodities, and services generally a lot better. And it's just the access to industry and the access to things and goods. Plus the Canadian dollar, it's always poor. It just always seems to be bad. When I came here in 2004 to this country, it was 60 cents on the dollar. If you came here with with Canadian dollars in your pocket, you essentially had $600 American, and that's tough. That means that everything else in Canada is more expensive than it is in the United States, and it means that even if the Canadian dollar starts to make some headway and starts to match it, it takes a long time for the prices to adjust, so Canadians kind of get screwed on a lot of things versus the United States. Driving is a big deal. People in the United States, Americans tend to drive a lot more than Canadians do, and I kind of touched upon this earlier, but in this town, you know, every American city has a big interstate running through it. In Canada, most of the big cities don't have a big interstate running through it. The difference is, you know, you have Calgary with Deerfoot Trail, it's called, and you have Toronto with the Queen Elizabeth Highway, which happens to be the largest road in North America, don't you know? Yeah, you're talking a code down here. It's really interesting. So how are you going to get from here to there? Well, you're going to take the 15 north, and you're going to hit the 95, get to the 95, and when you get to the 215, you can take the 215 off to Ann Road. That's a direction, and you have to learn those things. It's especially even more prevalent in California, where I've also lived in the past. So those are a few stray observations of what it's like to be a Canadian living in the United States. I'm not going to touch upon some of the big ones, and you might be disappointed, but if you are, leave me a comment and tell me to. Healthcare, education, access to clean water, things like this, the environment, the political climate. If you want me to talk about those things, I will, but you need to leave a comment in the section below to let me know about that, or just like the heck out of this video and share it amongst your friends. I have had a great experience in the United States. I know there are people all over the world that say that America is one way, but I found that home is where the heart is, wherever you want to make it. And with that, I will mention that what I do down here is I put people on timeshare tours. I work with super nice companies that will get you some free stuff. So if you're in Vegas or you're a local and you live here, hit us up at the website below, vegasforfreenow.com, and we can get you guys on a timeshare tour. You can get some cash, some show tickets, some gambling, some dining, or maybe all of the above, just for checking out a timeshare company while you're here in town. I'm Stephen Campbell, and I am not leaving Las Vegas, and until my voice completely gives out, I'll keep bringing you some videos. But you like and share and subscribe, and if you're just browsing through, make sure you do all those things to help the channel out. We're really honored that you're watching. Thanks for watching, Canadian in Vegas. Bye-bye.